Next witness, or our next questioner, the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Pfluger.
Thank you, Chairman. I thank all of you for being here, for your service to protect this country and keep it safe. We have had what I would characterize as a groundbreaking testimony today by Chief Ortiz, Chief of the Border Patrol, and he said that he does not believe we have operational control over the southern border. Number two, he does not believe that in at least 5 of the 9 sectors along the southwest border that it is secure, and that we have a policy crisis. And Mr. Cabrera, you know, I'd like you to speak on behalf. How many people do you represent in the National Border Patrol Council?
16,500.
Please speak on behalf of 16,500. Do they believe that we have operational control of our southern border, that it is secure?
Absolutely not.
You know, we've heard a lot today. I appreciate your testimony about the morale. Do you feel, again, speaking on behalf of those 16,500, do they feel supported by the Commander-in-Chief, by Secretary Mayorkas? Do they feel like they have the resources they need to do their job?
Absolutely not.
How sad is that, that you have testified that we have not sufficiently invested in our agents? We hear you. We support you. How sad is it? Do you want a bipartisan solution or just one party supporting you?
Oh, we need a bipartisan solution. This immigration, especially what happens to these women and children along this border, has nothing to do with politics. I mean,
No.
if we lined all these kids up in the room, I'm sure you guys would come up with a solution in a matter of hours.
And how sad is it that our colleagues on the other side of the aisle are not here in McAllen today in the Rio Grande Valley to see those unaccompanied minors, to hear the stories, to talk to you, and to hear you saying that you have a recruiting and a retainment problem, that we had 17 plus suicides last year. It's very sad. Colonel McCraw, thank you for your service. You know, just about an hour ago, I talked to a family member, the daughter of one of the 3 women who is missing in Mexico from Benitez, right here in the Rio Grande Valley. Very sad situation. And with that event, with the recent murders of Americans in Mexico, do you see the cartels acting more brazenly? And in fact, let's go a step further. Do you see them employing terroristic tactics?
They've been employing terrorist tactics for years. This is nothing new. Kidnappings of Americans is nothing new. Kidnappings, extortions, torture, these things go back decades to the Mexican cartels. So I don't mean to be gratuitous, it's just not covered in Mexico. And the reason it's not, I mean, being a journalist is not a good position to be in Mexico, writing about cartel violence, plain and simple. They'll target it. I don't care if it's a blogger or a professional journalist or a judge or a police officer. No one's exempt from the cartels and their level of brutality.
All 3 of you are law enforcement professionals, military experience. If you see an enemy use a tactic, technique, or procedure that threatens the lives of those that you're in command of or civilian populations, do you disseminate that information?
Certainly.
So if it's been alleged that there was an IED that was used by the cartels across the border, would that be something that our Border Patrol agents would want to know?
Absolutely. I mean, I know as a Border Patrol agent, I'd like to know something like that was happening, regardless of where it is on the border. I mean, I think it needs to go out to across all agents, all stations, that be on the lookout for something like this, because it could mean your life.
Absolutely. I assume the same for the Sheriff's Department and for DPS throughout the state of Texas.
Certainly.
Yeah. Colonel, can you talk to the expense that the state of Texas has had to endure because of the abdication of responsibility of the federal government? I'm talking all the expense, from the hospitals to the jails, you know, the Operation Lone Star and Stone Garden.
Just in the last couple of years, it's billions of dollars, but there's even more cost, because every time we get a surge like this, and where we take troopers, we take special agents, Texas Rangers, and we take resources from other parts of the state, as sheriffs know, from those locations, and we send them down to the borders to be able to do intensified operations. And that takes away a public safety value in those areas. So it becomes more safe here, supporting our Border Patrol partners, less safe there. So there's an impact in terms of statewide We recognize that, and certainly the governor recognizing that, and the state legislature has recognized that. But the governor's made it very clear to me is that at the end of the day, is that a secured international border with Mexico is an absolute imperative, and without that, we don't have public safety in our homeland security in Texas.
I thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for your testimony and your service. With that, Chairman, I yield back.